The 2023 NBA draft is almost here and I have a mock draft for y'all, so let's get into it. This is a super talented class and I'm very excited to dive into it with y'all, so let's get to the first pick. With the first pick in the 2023 NBA draft, I have the San Antonio Spurs selecting Victor Wembanyama from France. Wemby is 7'4" with an 8-foot wingspan and averaged 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game last year for the Metropolitans 92. There's not much I need to say about the 7'4" generational talent. He is in my opinion one of the greatest American sports prospects of all time, and I expect him to meet every expectation that's been put on him. His shot making and defensive presence at his height gives him the potential to be one of the best players of all time. He doesn't have any real holes in his game as he can do everything on the floor, but the one thing I can knock him on right now is his shooting. He only shot 31% on catch and shoot threes, 22% on off the dribble threes, and 27% overall. I do think those numbers jump once he hits the league. Many people question his slim frame, but at his height and current size, there's no reason to have any concerns over it right now. If there's anyone that can untap his potential, it's the legend Greg Popovich, and I fully expect that to happen.
This trainer now, it's Jordan Lally and myself. Here's Vic.
Things at the point, Ralph Sampson. We did see it in the 80s. We didn't see it often, but we did see it.
My pro comparison for Wemby will be nobody because he is a once-in-a-lifetime athlete that has no specific similarity to. With the second pick, I have the Charlotte Hornets selecting Brandon Miller from Alabama. Miller is 6'9" with a 6'11" wingspan and averaged 18 points, 8 rebounds on 38% three-point shooting last year as a freshman. There are many debates about whether Scoot should go at number 2, but I think the Hornets taking Brandon Miller is the right move as he'll be the better fit next to LaMelo Ball. I don't think a backcourt of Scoot and Ball will be that productive since their skill set doesn't really complement each other. Miller is a pure sniper who is a top 2 shooter in his class. He has the potential to become an elite 3-level scorer and possible All-NBA player because of it. Putting a pure shooter who's 6'9" who has room to grow as an overall scorer is perfect next to LaMelo. If he can develop a better handle and off-the-dribble game, his ceiling will be top-notch amongst his class. He'll have to put on some weight however, as he has a very skinny frame. Overall, I am very high on Miller and think that this is the best pick for Charlotte.
The break, he'll get it back, the lob. Got a little loud in practice.
My pro comp for Miller will be Paul George with less flair to his game. With the third pick, I have the Portland Trailblazers selecting Scoot Henderson from the G League Ignite.
All the way. On the take, Henderson! Oh!
Scoot averaged 16.5 points and 6.5 assists last year for the G League Ignite. I think the Trailblazers will be very happy if Scoot falls to 3. The 6'2" guard is an unworldly athlete who is very unselfish as well. His frame is ridiculous for his size and age as he has a 6'9" wingspan. There are questions about his jump shot as he only shot 27% from 3 this past season. I do think he will become a much more respectable shooter over time, and the shooting numbers will improve because he has pretty good mechanics. One of the biggest questions I have is how he will fit next to Damian Lillard. He definitely can't play off the ball at this moment, and Dame is going to have the ball in his hands for the majority of games. But if Dame were to get traded like some people expect, it will be a perfect situation for the rookie.
Down to Mecca. And then he finishes in
Impressive. Henderson driving baseline. Henderson showing off the handles. Reverse. Finish.
My pro comparison for Scoot will be Russell Westbrook. With the fourth pick, I have the Houston Rockets selecting Amen Thompson from Overtime Elite.
Got Malik Bowman in the corner.
Oh, this done.
Oh my goodness!
Amen is a 6'6" point guard with a 7-foot wingspan that averaged 16 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds last year for Overtime Elite. The first of the Thompson twins is a freak athlete who has a higher ceiling than anybody in his class not named Wemby. His athleticism and twitchiness is what first sticks out about him. A point guard with playmaking skills who creates tremendously for his teammates. He's also a very talented and versatile defender as his body and athleticism enables him to guard 1 through 4. He's not a good shooter at all as he shot 23% from 3 last season. Teams will dare him to shoot, which will cripple his game early on. His mechanics aren't that good, but I can see the vision where he could develop. He'll fit perfectly for Ime Udoka and the Rockets. Houston needs defenders and a true floor general, and he'd easily be their best at those categories. Overall, there aren't many players in this class that has the athletic ability that he and his twin brother possesses, and that's what's most enticing and scary about him as a player.
His decision was made.
Another steal. A man all the way.
That's such a tough play to make.
Oh my God! To a man. Oh.
My pro comp for a man will be a taller version of Ja Morant. With the 5th pick, I have the Detroit Pistons selecting Ausar Thompson from Overtime Elite.
Kai Howard in the game. Oh, are you serious? What?
Ausar averaged 16 points, 6 assists, and nearly 7 rebounds, and also 2 steals a game last year for Overtime Elite. I have the second of the Thompson twins going to Detroit due to his freak athleticism like his brother and his pairing next to Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. I juggle between him and Cam Whitmore as I think Detroit will take a wing at this pick, however I stuck with Thompson due to his untapped two-way potential. Ausar is more of a wing who has almost every trait you'd want on the perimeter. He's a downhill scorer with great finishing at the rim. Like his brother, he's a lockdown defender who brings versatility to guard multiple positions. He's also not that good of a shooter, but definitely the better of the twins. His mechanics are kind of funky, but is a lot more comfortable shooting off the catch than his brother, although he only shot 33% from 3 and 60% from the free throw line this past season. Putting him next to Cade will add a new flair to the open court that they haven't had in a very long time. A trio of Cunningham, Ivey, and Ausar will be a great group to build off of for the next decade plus.
Kicks it back. That's Ausar. Thought about it. Step back.
Wait a minute.
What? Ausar Thompson got Ethan on him. Takes it all the way. Rebounds. Ausar, nice spin. Pivot.
My pro comp for him will be Anthony Edwards. With the 6th pick, I have the Orlando Magic taking Cam Whitmore from Villanova. Whitmore averaged 12.5 points and 5 rebounds last year as a freshman for the Wildcats. Whitmore is a high motor explosive athlete who excels in slashing to the paint. Anytime he gets to the rim, he'll try to put it on your head. He's a pretty decent shooter but has a slower jump shot, but the mechanics are there. He has a solid handle who is comfortable using combinations but not the tightest overall. He also has a good body for a wing but is not the most fluid with his body movements. He's a good defender and sneaky rim protector due to his athleticism. He answers a glaring need for Orlando who does not have any great players in the backcourt. He will make an immediate impact at the 2 guard.
Throw line. Critical juncture, I think. Nice play here.
Whitmore got room.
My pro comp for Whitmore will be Jaylen Brown coming out of college, as they were both uber athletic but had a lot of room to grow offensively. With the 7th pick, I have the Indiana Pacers selecting Jarris Walker from Houston.
Foul, so Houston inbounds it. And it's Walker.
Walker is a 6'7" forward with a 7'3" wingspan and averaged 11 points and nearly 7 rebounds last year for the Cougars. Walker is a physically gifted power forward who has shown two-way potential. He's a havoc-wrecking defender who is very versatile on that side of the floor. He has good touch around the rim and possesses a solid mid-range game. He has the potential to stretch the floor and be effective as a roll man in a pick and roll. Walker has the ability to be productive both facing up and having his back to the basket. He will be a perfect fit next to Miles Turner offensively due to his compelling skill sets next to each other and could become a top 10 defensive frontcourt in the future.
Not hardly any in this game. Walker will step out and take the 13 lead. Walker one-on-one with Davenport. Walker hard to the hole.
Back to the big man, got his man in the air, step back 3. Oh!
Shot. Shed throwing it up. Oh, baby.
My pro comp for Walker will be a more controlled Julius Randle. With the 8th pick, I have the Washington Wizards selecting Anthony Black from Arkansas. Black is a 6'6" point guard that averaged nearly 13 points last year as a freshman for the Razorbacks. I struggle to decide between him and other guards like Keontae George and Jalen Hood-Schifino, but I do see the Wizards taking Black with this pick. He's more of a pass-first point guard and terrific playmaker who looks to involve his teammates often. He's 6'6", which is a great size for the position, so it allows him to see over defenders to create. He's not a good shooter as he only shot 30% from 3 in college and shows an unwillingness to shoot at times. But he has a great feel for the game, and going to a rebuilding Wizards will allow him to develop at his own pace. He's also a very good on-ball defender and uses his size to his advantage.
Council. A streaking Black tonight.
Black fouled and again, I know I've
said it already. They need some scoring from their big guys. Look at
My pro con for Black will be Josh Giddey or early career Lonzo Ball, as they all often struggled to shoot but were outstanding playmakers. With the 9th pick, I have the Utah Jazz selecting Bilal Coulibaly from France.
no. Sound good.
The French wing is 6'7" with a 7'2" wingspan. At 18 years old, that averaged 10 points last year for the Metropolitans 92. The biggest riser in the past few weeks, Coulibaly has shown flashes of the player he could be, which is very enticing. The teammate of Victor Wembanyama has become one of my favorite prospects this draft, as he is a very explosive athlete who has a great feel for the game at only 18 years old. He possesses shooting traits and mechanics that could turn into a great 3-and-D player. He has a very similar skill set to Ausar Thompson, but younger and played better competition. He's also a very good defender due to his athleticism. My pro comparison for Coulibaly will be OG Anunoby. With the 10th pick, I have the Dallas Mavericks selecting Taylor Hendricks from University of Central Florida.
Average 90 points a game. They've got 65 here. Hendricks for the lead.
Hendricks averaged 15 points on almost 40% from 3 last year for the Knights. One of the most intriguing prospects in this draft, Hendricks has the ability to be a plug-and-play player in any system on day one. He's a prototypical big man any NBA team will want today at 6'8" with a 7'1" wingspan and shot nearly 40% from 3 last season. He's a very agile and springy athlete, which allows him to make plays both inside and out on both sides of the ball. He's not one to put the ball on the floor and create for himself or his teammates at a high rate, but he is a gifted scorer for his size. Hendricks is a great rim protector and is never afraid to meet someone up top. With the Mavericks drafting him, he provides what they expected Christian Wood to give them, but at a way better rate. He's an overall great player and hard worker, and the only knock on him will be the competition he played this past season.
Driving to the basket, pass easy, turnover, 3-on-1, and alley-oop.
Is led by as many as 11 and got a chance to match this.
My pro comparison for him will be Jeremy Grant or a scoring version of Jonathan Kuminga. With the 11th pick, I have the Orlando Magic selecting Keontae George from Baylor.
Hawks cannot buy one. George again.
George averaged 15 points last year for the Baylor Bears. He's a pure scoring combo guard who has the potential and intangibles to become a complete guard. One of the best scorers in this class, George has the ability to create for himself on and off the ball. He's super crafty with the ball in his hands and isn't afraid of any defender in front of him. He has a very fluid jump shot and high release point. He also has the body to hold his own as a primary ball handler. A large volume of his shots are at both the 3-point line and in the paint, which teams will love since the NBA has transitioned to that today. I think he very much could become the point guard of the future with the Magic, and if they draft him, they'd be setting themselves up with a special core of young talent. In my opinion, he's the 3rd best guard in this class behind Scoot Henderson and Amen Thompson.
Walsh, a 5-star recruit. George trying to shake it.
3-point shot away from him, so he gets that shot fake and just counters the defense.
Here's the freshman George. Stop it on a dime. Now dribble. Switch. Neither one of these kids have missed a free throw.
George, step back, 3.
My pro con for George would be Jamal Murray. With the 12th pick, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder selecting Grady Dick from Kansas. Dick averaged 14 points and 5 rebounds on 40% from 3 last year for the Jayhawks. He's hands down the best 3-point shooter in this draft, and that's the main reason I have him going this high. He shot 40% from 3 at his 6'6" frame and 6'9" wingspan, which allows him to get his high release point jumper off over everyone. He's an off-the-ball shooter, and teams can run him off a number of screens at any moment. Dick has sneaky athleticism and a good touch at the rim. He's not the best on-ball defender and has an okay off-the-dribble game, so teams will absolutely try to run him off the 3 and force him to dribble. Pairing him next to Josh Giddey and Shea will be a huge lift off of 2 players who excel at getting to the rim, since they'll be able to kick it out to a very reliable shooter. My pro con for Dick will be Kevin Huerter. With the 13th pick, I have the Toronto Raptors selecting Jalen Hood-Schifino from Indiana. Hood-Schifino averaged 13.5 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists last year for the Hoosiers. He's a big, crafty scorer that has the potential to be an elite 3-level scorer. He has a great feel for the game and plays at a pace that is very controllable. He's also very productive in the pick and roll, which is a staple in today's NBA. Hood Schifino shoots his best in the mid-range off the dribble, and he needs to develop a more consistent catch-and-shoot game from 3. He also has to develop better finishing abilities at the rim, as he doesn't finish against defenders well. Being drafted by Toronto allows him the opportunity at the lead guard position with the departure of Fred VanVleet, and will have good assets next to him to show his playmaking ability.
Hood Schifino, no look pass, finds Jackson, jams in the kick. Hood Schifino stops, pops.
And look at Jalen Hood Schifino.
My pro comp for him will be Markelle Fultz with a better 3-point shot. With the 14th pick, I have the New Orleans Pelicans selecting Kobe Buffkin from Michigan.
He gets a reload here with Buffkin. Takes the baseline. Oh!
The 6'4" guard averaged 14 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 35% from 3 as a sophomore last year for the Wolverines. He's a dynamic two-way player who can hurt you both offensively and defensively. He's a great finisher at the rim and uses his athleticism to adjust in the air. Buffkin is an elite defender, and he times his steals perfectly, which puts pressure on the offenses. He vastly improved his jumper in his sophomore season, and he's a much reliable shooter. New Orleans desperately needs a lead guard next to Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, and Buffkin could be that guy.
Back in for Michigan, still a 13-point game. We've seen crazier things. Buffkin trying against a double team, and now Buffkin made away with that left.
Buffkin, he's been on a tear last 4 games, drops it off.
And a takeaway. Good anticipation by Kobe Buffkin to the rim.
My pro comparison for Buffkin will be a lengthier version of Derek White. With the 15th pick, I have the Atlanta Hawks selecting Derek Lively II from Duke.
Right now, they got to escape the pressure.
Lively is 7'1" with a 7'7" wingspan and averaged 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game last year as a freshman. Lively is a former top 2 recruit that struggled to gain his footing in college. He has the size and strength to be solid in the league, and that ultimately is the reason he declared for the draft despite his low numbers. He's an elite shot blocker and would have an immediate impact in the NBA on the defensive side of the ball. Having the Hawks draft him in the first round will ultimately be a replacement for Clint Capella. He's also been working on his jump shot, which will balance him out tremendously as a player.
3 on the clock.
And that's Tariq Whitehead, who's into the ball game for the first time. Lob and lob. I asked him about that, and he's delighted. That one's going to be...
My pro comparison for Lively will be Clint Capella or Mitchell Robinson. Here's how I think the rest of the first round should go. With the 16th pick, I have the Utah Jazz selecting Nick Smith Jr. from Arkansas. With the 17th pick, I have the LA Lakers selecting Noah Clowney from Alabama. With the 18th pick, I have the Miami Heat selecting Cason Wallace from Kentucky. With the 19th pick, I have the Golden State Warriors selecting Jordan Hawkins from UConn. With the 20th pick, I have the Houston Rockets selecting Bryce Sensabaugh from Ohio State. With the 21st pick, I have the Brooklyn Nets selecting Jet Howard from Michigan. With the 22nd pick, I have the Brooklyn Nets again selecting Trace Jackson Davis from Indiana. I have the Portland Trailblazers selecting Chris Murray from Iowa. With the 24th pick, I have the Sacramento Kings selecting Oliver Maxence Prosper from Marquette. With the 25th pick, I have the Boston Celtics selecting Leonard Miller from the G League Ignite. With the 26th pick, I have the Indiana Pacers selecting Maxwell Lewis from Pepperdine. With the 27th pick, I have the Charlotte Hornets selecting Dariq Whitehead from Duke. With the 28th pick, I have the Utah Jazz selecting G.G. Jackson from South Carolina. With the 29th pick, I have the Denver Nuggets selecting Kobe Jones from Xavier. And with the last pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, I have the LA Clippers selecting Tristan Vucevic from Serbia. So that does it for my 2023 NBA mock draft. I am super excited to see the future of the league find their new homes tonight. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about my mock. Appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next video. Peace.